Hi, this is Ken McCarthy, and I'd like to welcome you to Jazz on the Tube. As a new subscriber, thank you very much for joining us. Jazz on the Tube has been around since 2008. We started on January 1st, and just like building the Great Wall of China, we put up one brick at a time, and next thing we knew, we had the biggest collection of classic annotated jazz videos online, all organized, indexed, searchable. So just think of the artist you want to find, think of the song you want to hear, and you can go to our site anytime, 24 hours a day, and see a great master performing. And it's something that's a labor of love for us. We've been working on it, as I mentioned, for many years now, and we want to continue for many, many more years. There are some expenses involved in this site. I just want to let you know what they are. We have a monthly server bill. That's where we hold all the pages and all the links and make that server run 24/7. And we also have an email service that we pay for every month that delivers the email to you. We also have a tech guy who we have to keep on staff because so many things on the internet break. It's quite amazing. So generally, we are able to pay our bills with the advertising and with the support of our subscribers. So if you're in the supporting kind of mood, we would love to hear from you. One way to support us, by the way, besides financially, is just tell people we exist. We do not have a budget for advertising. We never have. Yet we've managed to grow from 0 to over 40,000 active email subscribers just by word of mouth. And I'd love to see that number go to 50 or even 100 someday. One of the things I'm really happy about is we discovered that a lot of music and jazz teachers, band leaders, people working with kids, use Jazz on the Tube as a resource. So for instance, if they're going to do a performance of Round Midnight, teacher will tell the kids, hey guys, go to Jazz on the Tube and look up all the performances of Round Midnight. And the kids hear it, they see all the different ways to play it, they hear it performed in a masterful way. I feel that jazz is as much a visual art as it is a audio art. I know that may sound strange, but I'm not alone in this. Miles Davis said that too. He said that he could tell by looking at a musician how well that musician was going to play. And I don't know how he did it, but I know what he means. I remember Cecil Taylor saying that his first experience seeing Duke Ellington, he said he saw a shimmering light on the stage, and he wanted to be part of that. And again, I don't know what that is, but I know what he's talking about. So the ability to see these great artists as well as hear them, I think, is a really important part of jazz education process. We're as big, believe it or not, as Jazz Times or Downbeat in the online arena. We are their equal, and in some ways we're bigger than them. We do things a little differently. We focus on the classic. So Louis Armstrong, Lester Young, Count Basie, Duke Ellington, Charlie Parker, Bud Powell, John Coltrane, Sonny Rollins, Thelonious Monk, and all the great musicians in that tradition. We don't pay much attention to what's current today. And the reason we don't do that is because Downbeat and Jazz Times are already doing that. And nobody is paying attention in the rigorous, comprehensive way that we do. Nobody's paying attention to classic jazz. And we think this memory, this historical archive is essential. This is an art that grows by transmission, human transmission from person to person. And we need to know about the great jazz masters of the past. And what better way, after they're gone, to at least see them on video. A lot of people, I mean, every great musician that I ever got to see play live, I'm so glad. I saw Miles, I saw Sun Ra, I saw Ornette, so many greats, and to see them is a really transformative experience. Not everyone can have that experience, but we do have video, and the younger generation can see the work on video. In addition to our archive, which is the biggest of its kind on the internet, we also have the biggest, most up-to-date directory of jazz clubs in the world. We are the #1 source for that information. So if you're ever on the road and you're trying to figure out, hey, is there a jazz club in this town, you can just go to Jazz on the Tube, click the Jazz Clubs tab, and look it up. And you will find, if there is a club, we have found it. We are the biggest directory, up-to-date, comprehensive, and accurate directory of jazz festivals. So if you're wondering, hey, is there a jazz festival in my area? Just go to Jazz on the Tube, look it up. We have all the jazz festivals all over the world. New ones spring up all the time, so we're always adding stuff, but this is the best list. In terms of jazz education programs, again, in the online world and actually the offline world too, we're the #1 resource for researching jazz education on the internet and in print. There is no better. So these are all services that we've put together for the jazz community. In recent years, we started a podcast series, and we've got over 40 interviews in that series, and we add new ones every day. We tend to focus on people who are not, quote, super famous, and yet they've made really and continue to make really important contributions to the jazz world. We focus on people who are behind the scenes. Sometimes they're musicians too, but our primary focus is on the behind-the-scenes people, producers, people that run clubs, or they run festivals, or they run cruises, or they run special programs. These folks are really important to jazz. Their work is really important, and I think it's really important that we know their story. And who knows, this might inspire someone to join the ranks of jazz producers. We always need new good ones. We also love to interview educators. This site is probably first and foremost, if I were to sum it up with one word, it would be education. So when we find an interesting, unique jazz educator, and there are many out there, we want to give them support. Finally, the other category we focus on in our podcast series is writers. There is so much good material being written about jazz these days. It's incredible. And unfortunately, the way the economics of the world works out, these books don't get promoted very well. They're not known very well. And we want to encourage authors and researchers, and we want to encourage fans to discover these books and read them, because some of them are amazing, and they will greatly enhance your appreciation of the music you're listening to. A couple of things. One, we do depend on our subscribers to keep the show running. We have some advertising revenue. It's pretty meager. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of donated labor, a lot of it coming from me. Happy to do it. So that's covered. But we get this monthly server bill, we get this monthly email software management bill, and we get a monthly bill from our tech helper. And we have to pay those in real cash. So if you're a person that believes in supporting jazz, consider supporting us. One great way, by the way, to support us too, because not everybody has money, and look, if things are tight, please don't worry, we'll make it. But if you have money, cut a little bit of it loose, But if you're not financially able to help, just tell people we exist. We don't have a budget for advertising, and yet we've managed to grow from 0 subscribers to over 40,000 active email subscribers with just word of mouth alone. That makes us one of the biggest focused jazz lists in existence, and that helps us a lot. The bigger we are, the more support we can get. So just simply telling people, if you see a great video that we've done, CC your friends, send it to them. Let them know that this resource exists. Last point, we send a lot of email, and that's because we love jazz. And once you get into this jazz video world, you're going to discover there's a lot of good stuff. When this first started, I was afraid we'd run out of material. Now I'm afraid I won't live long enough to play all the great material that exists. And surprisingly and wonderfully, new material pops up every day. People find stuff in their closets. I don't know where it's all coming from, but we will never get to the bottom of the bottomless well of great jazz video. So we send out a lot of video. If it's too much video for you, if it's too much email for you, we have a 1 email a day option. We also have a once a week option. And those options appear in every single email we send you. So if one day you're like, I can't take it anymore, okay, don't worry, don't panic. Just click on the link and then select once a day or once a week. Don't lose it. Once you're on this list, don't lose the contact. If you're going on vacation, we have a service. Just hit reply. Tell our guy, hey, I'm on vacation from May 5th to May 10th. stop my email and then restart it, we will do that for you gladly. We don't want your email mock to be jammed up either. So that's something that we've made available, we can do, and we're happy to do. So bottom line, welcome to Jazz on the Tube. We're really glad to have you. We're really glad to see how many people love jazz. It's a lot. It's a lot more than the mainstream media lets us in on. And I have to say this, too, as a final thing. Anybody that's been around jazz for a while, and I've been around surprisingly a long time, like since '77, you're going to find that jazz people, I don't like to be prejudiced, but jazz people are the best people in the world. We're all different, and some of us are a little quirky, but I can't think of a bad experience I've ever had with a jazz fan, ever. It's just a really great group of people. So I hope that this helps spread our tribe and makes it even bigger than it already is. So again, welcome to Jazz on the Tube. And if there's anything we can do to help you, please send us an email and let us know what that thing might be. And if we can help, we will. Okay, thanks a lot. Oh, by the way, P.S., who is Lester Perkins? Okay, Lester Perkins is an imagined character. And the first name, Lester, very important name in jazz. Obviously, Lester Young. Without Lester Young, we do not have modern jazz. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. Of course, also the great Lester Bowie, God rest his soul, wonderful human being, fantastic musician. And then the great Benny Carter, the great band leader and arranger and composer, who was right up there with Duke Ellington. His middle name was Lester. So that's why we selected the name Lester. Perkins is an old family name. Also, we have a great friend in New Orleans, the great jazz poet Chuck Perkins. So we put all these great names that we love together into a single imagined character. And so Lester signs every email. And we try to run this in the spirit of Lester, which means Lester Young, Lester Bowie, and Benny Lester Carter. So again, thanks for joining us. Stick with us. If it's too much, let us know. We'll moderate the rate of delivery, but don't leave. Stay. All right. Bye-bye.